The Association of Corporate Affairs Managers of Banks at its recent 2025 Stakeholders Conference discussed the theme AI and the Future of Trust, Reimagining Banking and Financial Services in a Digital-First Era. In his welcome address, the President of ACAMB highlighted the mission of associations to foster excellence in corporate communications and stakeholder engagement in the banking sector.
Our mission at ACAMB has always been to foster excellence in corporate communications and stakeholders' engagement across the banking industry. This conference embodies that purpose by convening thought leaders, innovators, regulators, and practitioners to shape the future of our industry responsibly and sustainably. We are especially honored to welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Niyi Yusuf, Managing Partner at Verraki Partners and the Chairman of Nigerian Economic Summit Group. Thank you so much for coming, sir. We appreciate your presence. As we deliberate today, let us ask bold questions, challenge assumptions, and collaborate towards building a financial ecosystem where trust is not just maintained, but enhanced by technology. Thank you once again for honoring our invitation. Let us have an engaging, forward-thinking, and impactful session.
The President of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, represented by the Registrar and CEO, Mr. Akin Morakinyo, in his goodwill message expressed satisfaction with the choice of the theme of the conference as timely for the industry.
Is the fact that if you look at all the changes that occurred, the first industrial revolution, the second, the third, and the fourth, they all were powered by something called general purpose technology. For the first industrial revolution is the steam engine. Everybody began to do things, engine, such that you were grinding pepper the local way in my hometown, back in Osun State. Somebody says, what's wrong with you? You now have a grinding machine. And then you move to the second one, which was powered by electricity. And if you find out there's something about general purpose technology, it affects all the sector. It has multiplicity of effect. You can keep improving on it from time to time. At a point, it becomes a lifestyle that without it, you cannot survive. If you don't have electricity today, who are you? I mean, that's why politicians will promise you, will give you light, will give you water, because they become a lifestyle. And if you go to the third industrial revolution, it was powered by internet and mobile telephony. When telephony started, what were we doing? It's just phone and text. Today, it has become a total lifestyle where you open door with your phone. Even somebody is pressing door in your house, you can see from your phone, you decline, and everything and anything happens in lifestyle. The beauty of AI, which I found out, is that AI is the general purpose technology that will drive the fourth industrial revolution. And therefore, if you do not adopt it, you are doing so at your own peril. And so if that is the truth and foundational truth, what are we waiting for? Let us embrace it, let us promote it, let us speak about it, but anchor it on trust and honesty and integrity, so that at the end, we're all happy and better off for it.
Mr. Niyi Yusuf, the Managing Partner, Verraki Partners and Chairman, Nigeria Economic Summit Group, in his keynote presentation, outlined how emerging technologies like artificial intelligence has created opportunities and transformed the financial services.
And so technology has changed the way the world works and lives, and we also see the changes in banking. Right? Used to be cowrie shells, then it became paper money, and then it became ATM. There was a time in the early 2000s, Nigeria had less than 24 ATMs. Offline ATMs between First Bank and SGBN. Less than 24. But today, ATMs are everywhere. POS machines are everywhere. And today, you don't have to go to a bank before you transact. So all that, again, is technology. And we see banks now using technology, AI, to create AI agent, to create service chatbots that can interact with you, that can even predict the next thing you will do. Can predict fraud, but they also can predict the kind of services you like to get using availability of what you've done. And so AI, next slide, has transformed transportation, has transformed communication, is also transforming financial services. the AI agent acts as an analyst. You want to pay invoices. So it check through the system and say these are the 2-3 invoices to pay. And then you then decide, do I pay? I don't want to pay, or I will pay just one and not pay 2 and 3. So that's the first one. In the second one, the AI agent decides for you and say, I've searched through your database and this is the invoice you must pay today. In the third one, you say, well, Mr. Bolarinwa, I've searched through, I've seen the invoice and I've paid. So 3 different use cases, and all use cases are possible. Same technology. One, the friction in the 3 cases are different. One use case just does analysis and allows human to make the decision and to act.
He also pointed out some risks in the use of AI and how it can be mitigated.
What are the risks? Yeah, I think this is the slide where I'll spend a bit more time. Accuracy, bias, and fairness, and I think we've spoken about this. Bias and fairness will come from the way you've trained it. If you trained it with masculine-only data, it will be biased against female. If you train it with data from VI Koyileki, it will be biased against the folks from Ocean. So we can create systems with data that is diverse and continuous training to ensure we tackle the issue of accuracy, of bias, and of fairness. And part of the mitigation is regular audits. So just trust but verify. Use data to train, but trust and verify. Issue of transparency and explainability. Explainability is that the AI can tell us how it arrived at its decision, at its recommendations. What has it considered? And that will start from your governance principles, right, and the kind of models you've used to set up the AI. Then there's privacy and data protection. Yeah. A friend of mine would typically joke that once you have a smartphone that is online, you've signed off your privacy. And the rest is you're just trying to, what's it called, retrieve, the genie is out of the bottle. Yeah? Because your telephone will connect to a base station for you to make your call. So they know you are this neighborhood. Yeah? And anytime you Google and search for ABC, that history is kept somewhere. And 2 weeks or so, last week or 2 weeks ago, the NDPC fined a certain company for about 700 million for taking data across border. Now, a lot of our data is not kept in country. And so data sovereignty becomes an issue. Localizing your data becomes an issue, but that won't happen unless we have investment, infrastructure, and the number of data centers that have been created locally today to help them. So data privacy is an issue. If you go down, job displacement is an issue. With technology, we've created more jobs. With mechanization, we've created more jobs. We've lost some jobs, but we've created new jobs. So nothing says to me that with AI, it will not be different. We'll lose some jobs, but we'll create new jobs. And like a friend of mine would jokingly say, those who will lose their jobs are those who refuse to embrace AI. But if you embrace AI, you'll be an AI engineer, data provider, or data testing, something. Just put AI in your, you'll be PR for AI. Just put something. But yeah, there will be job displacement. So it's more of job displacement and not really job losses. I think net there will be more jobs to be created.
The event featured a panel session to discuss the theme of the 2025 ACAMB Stakeholders Conference. Mr. Niyi Yusuf and some of the speakers provide further insights on how the adoption of AI will transform the banking sector landscape in Nigeria and necessary safeguards.
AI is still relatively new in Nigeria. I think we're still government and regulators are trying to understand it. It has come in from offshore, and it has come in as a consumer thing. So when you use Google or you use Microsoft, you get AI. When you do Google Maps to locate a location, to get a location, that is AI. So we're beginning to use AI into the way we work, the way we live every day, whether it's Netflix or it's YouTube recommendations, all of that is driven by AI. Now it needs to progress to transactions. It needs to progress to education, health, into the real sector. And that's when we begin to really feel the impact and the productivity gains of AI. So it's early days. Nigeria has developed a draft AI strategy. The African Union itself also developed a continental AI strategy. And those strategies speak to a number of things. One is around the infrastructure that is required to drive AI, whether it's electricity, it's digital, it's telecoms, data center. Second is around data. AI is fed by data, is trained by data. And so we need local data, we need African data, we need Nigerian data to be able to train AI to reflect local peculiarity. So that is a lot of work to be done in that area. Third is around skills and talent. We need more data engineers. We need more data scientists, but we also need more researchers who can research into the safety of AI. So we need more psychologists. So there is a huge need for skilled professionals to be trained in AI. And lastly is around governance. How do you ensure AI is used appropriately to advance human lives, to advance science, and not ethically abused? And so that a number of things to be done. We're seeing good progress with the EU AI Act and also with the draft AI strategy from the Nigerian government. But we wait to see the implementation.
The adoption of AI currently is still at the early stages in Nigeria. What we've seen is that there's early adoption. People are using it to analyze data, to feed. We're still at the stage where they're even feeding data into the AI structures that we have or AI companies that we have. So more analytical, but then we see growth, fast growth happening the next couple of years, where we start seeing things like predictive analysis and several other things that AI can do for us. It was very, very instructive. Stakeholder engagement on how best can we utilize AI in the financial services industry while ensuring there is trust, integrity around those structures. We had great dialogues with different stakeholders across the industry, and I believe that there's a roadmap, and what we need to do now is just go out there and do the things that we need to do.
The chief guest speaker talking about the African Union, coming up with a framework that will guide the use of AI that will be more domesticated to African economy. You heard him say that. And there's a lot of things that are already ongoing in developing. As a matter of fact, there are many institutions around the world who are giving free PhD scholarship to Africans who want to train their models, AI models, to behave like real African, AI. Which, if we are able to do that, adopting the AU framework and the ones that will be done in Nigeria, you've seen what the Minister of Communication and Creative Economy is doing. Setting up a body comprising of AI enthusiasts and those who are in that ecosystem to develop what we will use as a domestic AI models that will work for our own economy. Once all of this come together, doing from the continental and the national level, having all these models that works for us, that can behave and interact like an average Nigerian and an average African, I believe we'll be on the right track and we'll definitely get there. No other sector in this country has been at the forefront of technology, making life easy for their consumers than the banking industry. And we'll continue to do that, to be at the cutting edge of technology. We also saw what happened during the Naira redesign policy, when there seems to be, when almost everybody moved online to do transaction. And when that crash happened with NIPS, It's just like having only one pipe. Seven, you know the number of transactions that goes on per minute in Nigeria. This is a country of 200 million people. Do you know the transaction that goes on? So there was no way where you have only one channel that you wouldn't experience those challenges that happened then. If you look at issues and you dimension it properly, you will know that what happened was not anything that you cannot expect. But the banks have been able to take on that challenge. And right now, there's no transaction you do that you don't receive, both from the fintech and from the traditional banks. And this is what we need to do. We enjoin the media to continue in educating. The responsibility of the media is to inform, to educate, and to entertain. And we want to urge the media to continue in that light, to continue to educate Nigerians on, in adopting AI, how the banks can serve you better. You yourself also has a responsibility by not playing into the hands of the bad guys. Let us guide, when you are using your debit card, many people, they will come and report that, something happened to my account. This happened, that happened. When you go deep down, somebody will carry his own debit card and give it to a driver, give it to a house help to go and buy fuel. If they copy all the information you have on the card and there's a compromise, you heard what one of the panelists said, that she knew in her mind that she must have compromised her card at some point when money started leaving her account. If you don't compromise your card, you don't give your PIN to your house help, to your driver to go and buy fuel for you. If you want your driver and house help, create a separate account and have a debit card and have an amount that is there that even if it is compromised, you won't cry.
As you may know, AI is not a new concept to the world. It's been around. At least for the first time, it was mentioned in 1956. And adoption in this part of the world has been slow. But fact speaks for itself that the banking industry remains one of the fastest adopter of AI in our climate. And AI is used for so many things in the banking industry now, for analysis, for credit assessment. And you will agree with me that the banking industry leads in all sectors in terms of adoption of this AI initiative. And as you may know, there's nothing to run away from. AI is the future. It's simply doing things better, efficiency, effectively, and those are the benefits of AI. The truth of the matter is, for any new technology, there is the gains, the benefits, and there are the demerits. And so one of the things the banking industry is very strong on is in terms of governance, in terms of ensuring trust, in terms of ensuring safety, and that customers who use these services are not in any way negatively impacted. Rather, it's an enhancement to what we do and what we see.
With the advent of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, the prospects of transforming the Nigerian banking industry are immense, with services like open banking amongst others. The critical pathway to sustainability is ensuring that risk management and data protection is strengthened in the industry.